requires two people to be in concert with one another. Hi, I'm one of those two people, Evan Cox.
I'm the other one of those two people, Chris Binning.
And this is HowDoWeHuman, the podcast where we overanalyze all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I am Evan Cox, he is Chris Binning, and today we are talking about concerts. Going to them. We've done it before, but we're doing it again for a special reason.
This time, no guests, okay?
No guests. Who needs them? Gabe, Kaylee, wherever you're at. Feel free to hop on.
Certainly not listening to the podcast, but
certainly. But before we, hear the... I mean, maybe now we do hear the violins and everything tuning up. Insert noise here. Because the concert hasn't started yet. So while they're
doing their sound check.
Yeah, all that fun stuff. Chris.
Yes.
I would love to know how you're doing.
I'm doing all right. I have some quick little updates on two things, and then I have a separate story. I got a lot to get out here.
Oh, my God.
So, number one, I don't remember if I said it on the podcast or just to you last week. I said, hey, this is the last time that you're going to see me using this laptop audio. And here I am doing it again.
It's true.
A lot of things seem to have gone away from the same day to 2-day shipping on Amazon. Yeah. So it's supposed to arrive on Friday. So maybe next week I'll have a pop filter.
We'll see.
I don't know if it was because of the boycotts or because of these tariffs that things are harder to move around the country, but I will be receiving the last of my new podcast equipment at the end of this week. So hopefully next time there will be something. Number two, praise be to whatever deity you believe in that oversees grocery stores. I found another one close to me that doesn't have those toiletries locked up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be giving them lots of money as I purchase toiletries.
It's a good update. I'm finding, not to interrupt, but I'm finding like certain stores. It's kind of just like finding what stores lock up what. Because some places just don't lock up certain things. But it's like, oh, that we lock.
This store locks up detergent. The other store locks up deodorant. It's whatever we want.
We just got the call down from up above. God himself.
Yeah.
We got to lock up the greeting cards now.
Yeah. I mean, they're expensive.
They're very expensive.
They're very valuable.
$7 piece of paper.
And the last thing I want to bring up.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago, myself, my wife, her sister, and her sister's husband, we all sat down and watched a Netflix documentary miniseries about the murder of Gabby Petito.
Right.
I'm
familiar with still.
It's a fascinating. I knew most of the story already, but it is fascinating to see, and of course there is hindsight in play, absolutely, but always fascinating to see a documentary where you're like, are these cops stupid in every precinct, in every city, in every state around the country? But what I want to bring up is, and I don't know if you've encountered this at any point, as we are both white men with beards who have shaved their heads.
Yes.
And there are a lot of white men with beards and shaved heads who are deeply problematic in the world. But as soon as that documentary started, I was like, none of you fuckers better say I look like this murderer Brian Laundrie, okay? Because he's got that same look. I don't know if you've I think we've talked about this a little bit in the past, but man, is it discouraging to see someone who might be closer than a lot of celebrity doppelgangers, for it to be like
Yes.
an alleged murderer.
That's the absolute closest doppelganger I have. This is what we had talked about, is that black metal guitarist who like burned down a bunch of churches and then eventually killed someone and is racist. But he looks exactly like me. It's not great.
Yeah, that's no one mentioned it, but it was like,
What's his name? I'm gonna mention it.
Brian Laundrie, but laundry is spelled IE at the end and not Y.
Okay. I mean, listen.
It's not dissimilar.
It's not dissimilar. It's closer than Jay Baruchel.
For sure.
I think this guy and Jay Baruchel together is how you get Chris, a murderer.
And what's the name of that guitarist, by the way?
Oh, God, what is his name? God, I can never remember his real name because he recorded under a fake name. What's his name? Black metal church burning.
Oh yeah, let's put church burning in the search here.
Black metal church burning racist. Varg Vilkernes. He currently has like long hair and like a braided beard, but if you look at pictures of him when he was younger, it's freaky.
Are we looking at, is this Holden Matthews?
No.
Okay.
Here, I'll share my screen. I know I did before, but we'll do it again because it's fun to look at. And again, I never know if this comes through since you didn't know me when I was younger. But like this is.
Oh sure, yeah, I can.
That
see
is my face.
Yeah, I can see that a little bit.
It's fucked. This is what he looks like now. So less. He's
okay.
Much older than I am.
Yeah. It is. I don't think it's your closest doppelganger, but he could be related to you.
I'll put together a picture of me when I was in high school with him when he was that age. He looks more like me than my dad in my esteem. Anyways, enough about horrible doppelgangers. I'm happy with Paul Giamatti.
Evan, I gotta know how you doing.
I mean, listen, I'm thriving. I got an offer, couldn't refuse. I did this because that's what they do in the movies. Like, he's gave me an offer, he couldn't refuse. To go sign up at the gym. Now, I've talked about this a lot. I'm not a gym rat by any means, but I do enjoy having a gym. There's something about that makes me more likely to work out. I've tried the last 5 years. I've just been like, I'm not trying to get ripped. I can work out at home. I've got the bands. I've got little free weights and shit like that. I do a lot of yoga. And by do a lot, I mean, I've done it twice in the last year. But I used to do it a lot. And yeah, I lose steam. And there's something about having a place to go.
Yeah.
I got an email from my workplace that was like, and that's rarely something I'm excited about. We're partnering with this company. It's called Husk. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about Husk, but I'm podcasting's bad boy. I'm going to talk about Husk. It's like, I don't know if it goes through my insurance or whatever, but it gets you like deals on going to the gym. It has certain gyms they work with, mostly like bigger name franchisee gyms. And so this was like, we can get you 18 months for $30 a month. not total, $30 a month. And I'm like, that's beautiful. That's what I've always wanted. Because every time it's like, oh, intro fees, like, yeah, 40 or whatever. And then after 2 months or whatever, it's like $70 a month. I'm like, I don't work out that often to make that remotely worth it. So $30 a month. Awesome. It's an Anytime Fitness. It's down the mountain. I was like, I'm planning on it. Let's do it. I will do that. And then I got another email from them. St. Patrick's Day weekend. They're like, hey, we're doing a special. Us Husks. Special. $0 activation fee. So I got even money off of the sign-up fee, getting the key fob, all that stuff. I saved an extra like $30 on the total. I'm like, this is amazing. Let's pull the trigger on this. I'm a gym guy now. Let's go. Jim Cox. That's my grandpa's name. So I've never done Anytime Fitness before, and knew that they had emailed me and said, hey, thanks for joining. Do you want our free consultation? And I kind of had a vibe, but I looked it up and it's like, yeah, those are just, they're not going to do shit for you. They're just trying to sell you on personal training and whatever. I'm like, all right, well, I hate that. But they're also offering, like, they've got this machine you stand on and it'll tell you your BMI and your water weight and all the weird little numbers I've never known about myself. Like, oh, fuck, I can do that, and I feel confident I can just say no thank you when they try to sell me on a personal trainer. But I'm going in there. This guy emailed me. He's like, emailed again. It's just from a specific guy this time, not from Anytime Fitness. He's like, hey, you want to come in? This is how I'm hearing it. You want to come in? And I can show you what I can do for you, brother. It's just Hulk Hogan in my mind. And I go like,
well, Hogan.
I could pop by in like half an hour if you're around. Let's do it. So I go in there, and there's a guy sitting at the front. He's like, oh yeah, I told him what I was there for, and he's like, oh yeah, hey, come out here. I'm expecting this big guy. This scrawny little teenager. He's got like, no offense, I also did, but he's got a lot of acne going on. He's not muscly at all, and he's super quiet and shy. Like, seemed like he wanted nothing to do with this, and he was embarrassed. Like, the guy at the front counter had to be, I'm not going to say his name, but we'll say it was Kevin, as I'm Evan. He was just like, Kevin, you want to come out here? Like, he had to like coax him out. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't think this guy's even going to offer to personally train me, but whatever. I did the machine thing, got my numbers, had to look everything up. Guess what? They're not great. I landed in the poor category in a few situations. So something to work on. But all this to say, I went in there and I'm like, I'm going to just run on the treadmill a little bit. We got like 2 feet of snow. I've been shoveling like crazy and my arms are dead. So I'm just going to run on the treadmill, work up a sweat. I'm running there. Hi, I'm running here. There's a mirror in front of me, and I see that guy that was at the front desk start coming towards me. This is like 10 minutes into me already jogging. And he's like, as I'm still running, he's just like, hey, Evan, how'd you get that deal? I'm like, huh? He's like, how'd you get, like, that's a crazy good deal. Like, $30. Like, our entry fee, it's like, it starts at 40 and then goes up. I'm like, yeah. He's like, like, did you buy that through us? Like, what? Like, oh no, it's something through my workplace. He's like, oh, because that's a really good deal. Like, I could tell he was just like, I'm not making any money off of you. Why are you here? He seemed like genuinely upset about it, but I'm just like, I just got to shut that off. And now I've got a 24-hour key fob I can get in whenever I want. That just really made me laugh. It's just like, how'd you do this? I don't know. It's something called Husk. They cut out the middleman, which, unfortunately, in this instance, is you.
Is your paycheck.
Yes. So, hey, I'm out there. I'm back at the gym, and I'm back here telling a long story. I can't stop, and I
How
won't
far
stop.
away is the gym from where you live?
Here's the thing. The gym is average, I'd say 30, 35 minutes away. You would think, hey, that's too far. You're not going to go. I go down the mountain way too often for bad reasons, mostly to go to Guitar Center, look around, and then spend like $50 on something I don't
See
need.
if anybody recognizes you for burning down churches.
Yes, exactly. Go to, hey, we're boycotting these bitches, but I go to use Target restrooms, and sometimes I will buy stuff there. Long story short, I'm wasting gas, going down the mountain, spending money, eating out.
Hell yeah, brother.
I don't know, tell me about it. So I'm like, I'm giving myself this. Like, if I already go down there like twice, I'm not eating out.
I'm still with you.
I already go down there about twice a week. Jesus. If I'm already driving down the mountain roughly twice a week, I can force myself to go to the gym. And I always feel better afterwards. Like I've got energy for the day. It's good stuff. So we'll see. I'm trying something. Read a book called Atomic Habits.
I feel like
it's a bestseller.
I feel like maybe we have that book here.
Hey, I read it.
Cool.
Working on it. Having Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits, not a bad band name.
That's not a bad band name. And a big habit I have is spending way too much money going to concerts.
Wow. A double segue?
Incredible. Double
segue? Well, we did do an episode on concerts 6 years ago. So maybe it's time to check in.
Wait, how long have we been doing the podcast now?
Since 2019, my friend.
Fuck, 6 years ago. Good God.
Yes.
Somebody stop us.
At the time of that recording, I had never been to a concert. The closest experiences I had were as an extra in a concert scene in Popstar Never Stop, Never Stopping.
You're a professional concert goer.
As a college student, I did walk by the Quad as Yellow Card was playing.
That's right. That pop punk violin based band.
Those were the two experiences I had with concerts, and I didn't understand the appeal. There was talk of us and the two guests that we had on that episode, the aforementioned Gabe and Kaylee. Maybe the four of us would go to a concert together sometime.
We did talk about it.
And then there was the novel coronavirus, and we never saw either of those two people in person again. Although maybe you did, but I certainly did not.
Yeah, I did, but less.
And never really got the appeal of a concert. Why would I go listen to music in a mess of other people where it's loud? There's too many other people there, and the music quality might be worse than the studio recording.
Oh my God.
But this past week,
yes,
it was my wife's and her twin sister's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Previously, they had a previous birthday where they went to some place. I want to say it was called the Ruby. I don't know if that's a place.
Sounds like a place.
Okay, but they had gone there 2 or 3 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
And seen this group called Forrester. Are you familiar with Forrester, Evan?
It sounds familiar, not in a way that I know their music.
They are two white guys who look like they could be any person who lives in Los Angeles. They have that sort of look to them.
You'll love to see.
And they are basically like a pair of DJs, essentially.
Great.
And
I'm looking at them now.
Don't those look like two guys from LA?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
But they were doing a concert here in LA again, right around their birthdays. So we went on a little double date, the two sisters and each of their husbands. And so we went to go check out Forrester, this time at a different venue. I don't know if you've been to this venue. I'll get to it in a second, but I was warned ahead of time. Hey, you know, Forrester's vibe is pretty chill, so I don't know if it'll really be like a concert or if it'll be like, you know, just live music is playing while you're like at a bar or whatever.
I'll just say I'm laughing because I just listened to a small clip of their music and I'm like, oh, that's not gonna be chill.
Yeah,
not to get ahead of you.
I'm not so sure where that came from. The venue that they were performing at is called the Academy. Have you been to the Academy, Evan?
No, where's the Academy?
The Academy, I don't know where it is. It's in downtown Los Angeles, but the Academy is a very prestigious name for a warehouse. That's all it really is just a warehouse. I believe they maybe host more like rave type events.
That would make sense why I've never been there. It says it's a dance club. And the top Facebook review is the worst place I ever been to. $18 to $22 for ice cubes and water. The drink are a joke.
Yeah, so we went there. We get into the place. It's just a big dark warehouse, sticky ass floors. Man. But there's an act before Forrester is currently performing when we get there. Forrester's supposed to go on at 12:30 in the morning.
Fuck that. I'm out.
And so we got there at like 12:15 maybe.
Yeah.
And there are like two different bars, and then there are a couple like tables off to the side, although it's unclear, like, are these tables for anybody or are these like VIP, sections? I don't know.
The website says they have bottle service, so feels VIP to me.
It does. And then there's just like a very decent sized group of people all just in the center vibing in front of the DJ stand, the DJ booth, whatever it's called. Sure. And I'm like, you know what? There's actually a decent amount of space back here, so this won't be too crowded. I can just do my own thing because we'll be here in the back because that's when we got here. We'll have some space. We don't have to be up in the front trying to mosh with everybody, you know.
Too sweaty.
Except that's exactly where we ended up. Because my sister-in-law and her husband are like, why would we go somewhere and not be in the center? We need to be where the action is. So we have to force our way to find a little pocket in the center front of the booth. And now it's time. A Forrester's about to come on. And, there's just all sorts of, like, I don't want to sound like, I don't want to sound like I know anything about Forrester. I had not heard any of their music prior to that night. So maybe they were good. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. But there was just several interesting things that I picked up on throughout their hour and a half to 2 hour set. I'm not really sure how long it was. Okay. But a lot of interesting people and things going on all around us. You've got, I don't want to sound like Stefan from SNL, but this place had everything. A couple sloppily making out right next to us.
Naturally.
One guy who had, like, I can only describe as like a Kyle Mooney-esque person, because he was just kind of like, you know, by himself kind of dancing. But every time a new song came on, it was as if he was surprised but delighted that it was coming on. Kind of like a, you guys, and then you get back into like his little Running Man dance that he was doing.
Jason Sudeikis. We only have SNL references.
Yeah, we only have SNL references. There was a guy
not belong there in this club.
No, there was a guy who was like 6'6" with no spatial awareness, who was constantly bumping into us. And then his best friend, a guy who was like 5'6", and had all of his buttons undone except for the very bottom one. There was a guy who, like, eyes closed the whole set, and just one hand up, just kind of vibing, but in a way where, like, he looked like he could, he maybe was vibing to the music. He was maybe being possessed by a demon. It's one of those two, you know, the way he was shaking his head, eyes closed, kind of head down, a little like, you know, like that kind of thing going on. A woman in her like mid-50s with the heaviest wool coat you've ever seen. Like, it's just all sorts of random people who really stood out to me.
Wow.
Do you, because Forrester is more, you know, DJ-esque. Is that the type of show you've ever gone to, or are you seeing people play real instruments?
Well, I've definitely seen people play real instruments. I'm trying to think. So, I did pull this up. I'm a fucking nerd, so I have a spreadsheet where I've tried to remember every show I've ever seen. I feel like I've seen something more electronic like that. Certainly certain artists doing a few songs that are more electronic. Nothing is coming to mind, though. I'm flipping through this thing. Yeah, a little bit. Big Frida in New Orleans. It's a real dance vibe, but that was outdoors, which is very different. I can't say I've ever been in what I would consider a dance club.
Yes.
For a concert that. Listen, I hate this for my Chrissy boy because I know that I could bring you to a concert you would enjoy.
Yeah. And
that is not it. And I don't think this went well for you.
You know, it's interesting because it didn't go great, but it didn't go bad. And I think that part of it, though, is like I'm at a point in my life where, like, I'm able to just switch into like, this will be good for the podcast or good for a script. Like, I don't.
This is where I am.
This now might not be great for me right now, but I can use this at some point in some way. But I do want to talk about the DJ element of it, because
it's interesting.
It is interesting, and there is a big difference between a good DJ and like a serviceable DJ, you know, like a good DJ versus a guy playing music. You know what I mean?
This would be very different than that, but I just remembered because I've seen Deltron 3030. I can't remember. Like one of my favorite bands. I can't remember their name. But they have a DJ and their DJ does an opening set named Kid Koala, but it's very very like old school, scratching records and stuff. So I don't know if that counts, but also he played a song from Yo Gabba Gabba, so
that rules.
It ruled. It was one of the best things I've ever seen.
There are a couple of things like, so I don't know what equipment they were using. I couldn't see behind the thing they were up elevated on a stage. But it's a lot of like, them fiddling with whatever their controls are. And, singing like along to the last couple words in a lyric or whatever. But the two things that extra stood out to me, in a live band concert, you can maybe like see someone do a cool guitar solo or someone go crazy on the drums, or an impressive dance number with, a pop star and all her background dancers, and then people can go wild, right? For a DJ set, you can't do any of that.
No, it's a very different thing.
But sometimes the two of them would just intermittently, but like together, would stand up on the DJ booth.
Oh.
And then people go nuts. Like, they're not doing anything, but they're both just standing there. They've got they've got one hand on their like belt buckle, or their like their waistband essentially, and then the other hand up like this, doing the same kind of motion that the possessed guy was doing, but with a little bit, but just kind of like to the beat, or a little rodeo to the beat, basically. Okay. And then crowd goes wild. They blast some they have like a fog cannon or whatever up on the ceiling. They blast that down in the crowd. Everybody goes nuts again, and then they'll come down from there after people have cheered for them and they've done their little rodeo. They'll come down and they'll be like, LA, you guys are amazing. And they do that like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
But the thing that really stood out the most to me was, you mentioned like that other DJ playing Yo Gabba Gabba. These guys played, at one point they played Hide and Seek by Imogen Heap. I, of course, know it as the song from the Dear Sister Lonely Island sketch.
We only have SNL references.
I did, I leaned over to my wife and I was like, you know how I know this song? And she was like, from the Andy Samberg thing. I was like, yeah. But they at one point they go, you guys are so great. We want to play one of our new songs. This one's not even out yet. What? We want to play one of our new songs. It's coming out this Friday or whatever. And then they start, like, I just clearly don't understand DJ like remix songs, because they start playing a song that I do recognize from the year 2011, and they're like, "This is our new song," and it's "Midnight City" by M83. Okay. I mean, I guess they put some different interesting remixed effects, but I just, to be like, this has never been heard before. You're the first audience to hear this song. Here we go. It's a song from 14 years ago.
I can't get no
satisfaction.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was just, that's the best way to describe my entire concert experience, was like, this is interesting, and I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, the thing is, it's a culture.
Sure.
I have people close to me who are a part of that. I dated a girl who was very in that world. And so I learned through her eyes what some people like about stuff like this. And she had showed me like a lot of electronic artists like that who also like they're up there like drumming and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I like, and it isn't just me going like, that's real music because they're playing instruments. Like I love synthy shit and stuff. But like, yeah, Daft Punk, they're up there DJing, but they also have synthesizers up there and they're playing drum thing. Like they are actively doing some things, and you'd never really know nowadays if anyone is doing anything up there. Or a lot of DJs literally are hooking their phone up to an aux cord and pushing play and then pretending to fiddle knobs. This is not me being cynical. It's been proven. There's a lot of DJs out there for their live shows aren't doing anything.
Yeah, and we're not saying necessarily that's what happened with this group or with this concert. And they're really good. I am truly not in the house music scene to know enough about their skill level.
I get the impression that for artists like this, it's mostly it's like the communal thing, and also a lot of people are on drugs.
That definitely, I think that played a big part in the possessed guy's experience.
It's like an adrenaline thing, which it's like that is sort of the same thing I get going to a concert. I don't know. It's kind of beyond me. That it sounds nightmarish. So different strokes for different folks, I guess. But like, yeah, I'm going to keep harping on how much I love Kid Koala. By the way, he's a small man in a koala costume, a big baggy koala suit, and he's scratching. But it's like there's an amazing skill, like to playing one song. You got two turntables. He plays on 3 turntables. The guy's fucking nuts. And you got one song playing over here. You flip it to a different one, and you've timed it perfectly, and you're scratching, but you know exactly where you're going. He's got little post-it notes on his records. That's cool as shit. And I can watch that on another level of like, I have no fucking clue how to do that. And that's so cool.
Yeah.
But I find such a distance from electronic music when I can't tell what they're doing. Like, I don't know. So much of that music now is, and that's, again, this is not a complaint. I make all my music on the computer, but that music is made almost exclusively on the computer.
Sure.
So there's not a lot to perform. So you kind of are just pushing play and then hyping people up and going, yeah, and it's, I don't know. How was your hearing?
It was okay. I mean, I think I would have gotten more enjoyment having been more towards the back. Although we were like right in the strike zone of those fog cannons, which was kind of fun. I enjoyed those. I think that's fun. But
that's good stuff.
Get blasted with cold air that you can see. Great, love it.
I want to see more air.
Yeah. Seymour Air is my DJ name.
Seymour Air. All right.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
I think I would have enjoyed it more being like out of the middle of the crowd. But my hearing really wasn't too bad. I thought it would be worse.
That's surprising. Did it not feel like... Did it not, when it started, did it feel like this is too loud? Or it just felt, okay.
It did feel like it was too loud once we like walked in there and the other guy was still performing. I was like, this is kind of loud.
Well, I guess it does kind of depend. If you're up front, sometimes the speakers are behind you, so you're not getting blasted.
That could be what happened. I just didn't
really
I like having the space. I like having personal space, and there were just too many people bumping around, whether because they were drunk or because they also were trying to get a little bit of their own space. Yeah. Tough to tell. But yeah, they posted photos on their Instagram of the concert, and you can see my little bald head in one of them.
I gotta check this out. I love this. Okay, from get go, like that, having experienced that, which sounds
Yeah,
like, again, not my cup of tea, but you rode the wave,
sure.
embraced the moment for what it was, and had some
Yes.
fun.
Yes.
Would you go to another Forrester concert?
Probably not.
Okay. B, did that help or hurt your interest in going to see a band that you do like?
Maybe helped it, but
Let's say they're playing the Greek theater, it's outdoors, you have your own seat.
Yeah, maybe it would help.
And The Lonely Island is playing.
I did say when we were leaving, like, hey, if the Lonely Island tours again, we should probably do that.
Okay, so there's an inkling of,
so there is, we're getting a little closer.
I got something out of this experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, like, and this is true of anything, and probably why I'm finding myself becoming more and more reclusive.
Mm-hmm.
But you see all sorts of videos of like people at concerts, and it's like people screaming the lyrics from their seats and ruining it for everybody else.
Yeah.
People throwing shit at the performers mid-performance.
A lot of bad.
What are we doing? Like, I'm finding it harder and harder as I grow older to want to go places and experience things with other people.
I mean, it is the I don't know, close cousins with going to see a movie in the theaters.
Yeah.
And I do, because that's part of me, like, I'm going to the gym, and part of where lately I've been working in LA, because I work from home almost exclusively, and working with other human beings. There is, for me, a level of like, oh, this is good for me. Like, I do need to be around other people sometimes. But yeah, I mean, my concert going has slowed down a lot. But and part of it, this is something we didn't discuss, is hey, I don't know if you had to, did you, I don't need to know, I don't need to know if you had to pay for these tickets or not.
Yes, these tickets, they were not outrageously expensive. I can't remember what they were. I want to say they were like $15 a person or something like that.
That's so cheap.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Here's the level we're at now, because listen, this is going to be a minor something no one else gives a shit about, and a minor ego stroke for me. This is my spreadsheet of all the artists I've seen. So I've been around.
Yeah.
This is 118 artists, some of which I've seen multiple times. Portugal the Man I've seen 6 times.
And so it looked like the venues were there on the side.
When I can, I'll link it to, if I can find it. I had a really fun day. I didn't do it for all the more recent ones.
Right.
But I'll use setlist.fm, which people update with the songs an artist played that day.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so I'll link that in there. So, because sometimes I'm just like, yeah, what did they play when I saw them? And then like, oh yeah, it helps me remember the concert itself.
Okay.
Like, oh yeah, that was fun. So I've been to a lot, and I clicked in and out of that really fast. But like Sting and Paul Simon, Elton John, Bruce Springsteen, like there are a lot of smaller artists, but there are some artists that are huge, and I've seen them for reasonable prices.
Yeah.
Because there's always the option to just get some nosebleed seats and see Rush. I've seen them both in nosebleeds and near the front row, which I got from a scalper. Sorry, Rush. But So I'm well versed in this. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know regardless, I can spend 60, $70 and get shitty seats, but see an artist I love, and they'll have big video, and I can watch that, and I can be there with other fans, and it's fun. Yamava Casino is the nearest venue to me. My girlfriend and I went and saw Ringo Starr and his all-star band recently. I did my little, again, it's not admirable. I'm trying to pay the artists. Granted, Ringo Starr has a lot of money. He's doing fine. But I'll go on StubHub. I mentioned this to you, like day of, and just see if people are trying to get rid of tickets that they haven't sold. There's just a problem in concert going now where bots buy up all these tickets and then people jack up the prices and try to sell them for outrageous amounts.
Yes.
And if you wait until day of, within like a couple hours of the show, you might be able to go on there, and some of these people that are like $1,000, he's a Beatle, and then all of a sudden it's like, $30.
Yeah.
And I'll take them up on that. Yamava has they have a number of shows coming up that I'm like, oh yeah, I'd love to go to that. One is James Taylor. One is Carlos Santana. I'm like, hey, I'd be down. These aren't people that I'm like, oh, I need to see them before I die. But like, I love
or more
James
likely
Taylor
before they
Santana.
die.
or more likely. Knock on wood. Knock on whatever this is, fake wood. These are not scalper tickets. These are not resale tickets. These are not tickets being like... Yeah, that. Exactly. I don't need to say more.
Yeah.
Tickets that someone bought and then put back up on their thing for like quadruple the price. The cheapest tickets available for either is over $600.
Oh my God.
To see James Taylor or Santana now.
That's wild.
Unfucking real. The worst case of it was there was a... Pearl Jam was always known as being they were very anti-Ticketmaster. They tried to sue Ticketmaster for all the extra bullshit fees they put on there and go straight to the fans. And clearly they just they lost. They must have lost that because they went on tour. I've heard they're amazing. They're a legendary Seattle band. I have never seen Pearl Jam. And they went on tour recently. I'm like, I'm fucking going. Let's go. They were playing the Crypto.com arena. And tickets sold out within 0.5 seconds, and the cheapest you could get was $300. I'm just like, and that's nosebleed seats.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors that lead to me not going to as many concerts. This is a big one.
Yeah, I watched a couple weeks ago a YouTube video about the history of Ticketmaster and how they've essentially ruined the concert going experience.
Industry.
Yeah, the entire industry is forever broken. But yeah, they did mention that Pearl Jam really was fighting hard.
They tried. Not the good fight.
And I think that I don't know. Even though I watched that video pretty recently, it's not like I retained the information. But
listen, we were just talking about that Atomic Habits book. I finished it and immediately I'm like, I got nothing. It was a great book. As I was reading it, I'm like, great tip, great idea.
But I feel like, and maybe I'm completely making this up, but I feel like there are venues that artists will go to, like Crypto.com Arena, where hey, it's just going to be expensive as hell, but we're going to do other shows at other venues that are cheaper to try and help people out. But I don't know. I don't know if that's true. It'd be nice. I do think that if you're going to Crypto.com Arena, you're just going to get charged a lot of money because they got to make up those crypto deals.
Yeah. Before that boat completely sails. Speaking of which, though, putting money into these big places and us only having SNL references, like, you can go to these big places like Madison Square Garden and get food poisoning like Tracy Morgan and vomit on the court.
Yeah. It's great. I love that.
Have you seen the actual photo? Like one photographer got the snapshot of it's so much vomit, which I'm like, initially I just saw him in the hospital bed. I'm like, that feels extreme for food poisoning. Like, oh no, he was not well.
Well, yeah, because he got like wheelchaired off the court. Yeah, I mean, that's, glad he's okay, but also like, I don't know. I've had food poisoning many a time. I don't think I'd be sitting there in my seat still.
In the front?
Yeah.
Courtside.
I think I'd vomit on the stairs. Like, I wouldn't make it in time, but like, I think I'd be trying to get out of there.
Just sitting there. But no, it's a thing, and it's weird generally. I mean, it's normal, but it's also weird to think like at a concert you can always get some alcohol unless it's a 21 and up or 21 and under. Whatever.
Yeah, if it's 21 and up, no 21 alcohol.
And up, no chance. But never food. Like they just artists don't want to see people eating. I don't know what the rule is like where I can go see a Clippers game and get a soft pretzel. But fuck me if I'm going to see Ween. I would like, and I'm high off my ass, and I might like a pizza stick or something.
I feel mixed on it because I love to snack, certainly much more than I love to drink. Although,
true,
I have found my alcohol.
Your comfy lane.
Yes, and it's because. Well, no, it's not champagne. Although I like champagne well enough, but it's tropical cocktails because we went to Islands the other day.
I just went to Islands for the first time like a month ago.
Yeah, we ordered
podcast about it.
Yeah, why not? We did Togos. Let's do Islands.
Fuck it, we're the Togo.
But we ordered the. Because obviously in Hawaii, I was like, hey, I love a Mai Tai. I like a mojito.
Yeah.
I like the lava flow. But we ordered a flight at Islands, and it was like a Mai Tai, some like...
Your Thai.
So, our Thai. But it was, 4 different things, and they were all delicious.
Yeah.
Like the Mai Tai might have been my least favorite, and that one was pretty good.
Mai Tai is it's a very specific drink. I'm not a rum fan generally. I never thought I would like them. But when I was in Hawaii, I drank nothing but nonstop Mai Tais. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is heaven.
I know.
It's a when in Rome situation.
I had a lot of mojitos in India. Some of those mojitos, they got me drunk.
That's the classic horse racing track drink. Emerald Downs does a good mojito.
But anyway, I say all that to get back to, even though I have found my alcohol that I like, I think if it's truly the musician's choice, which, like, why would it be? But if it's truly their choice to not have food there, I think I'm on board with that. Because at the movie theater, hey, I love to get popcorn every time.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know why we're doing these full pizzas and rotisserie chickens and nachos and hot dogs and all this stuff.
Medieval times.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I can't do that. That would be bad if we're at a concert and they're like doing service, bringing people food.
Giant turkey leg? Giant turkey leg!
Maybe exclusively if it were like you go see the Rolling Stones and then everyone has a giant turkey leg. It's a quiet thing to eat. It's handheld.
If I were an artist, I would be making themed food options.
Yeah.
And then you can jack that price up even higher.
Yeah. Because I touched everything you're eating.
I touched it.
I touched it all.
Yeah, that's what I mean by themed foods. Is it's not even it's not tailored to me as an artist. It's just like, popcorn, parentheses Taylor's version. She popped it. She put it in the microwave.
Yeah. People would pay a lot of money if Taylor Swift just made a big old thing of popcorn at her concerts and then give a handful to people.
Yeah.
If you handed her like $100 cash.
Yeah.
I'd be stoked about that.
Everybody be counting the little kernels in there. Like, maybe she's trying to send us a clue about the next album.
That becomes the new friendship bracelets, popcorn.
Yeah. Trading full popcorn buckets.
Taylor Redenbacher. Red?
Red? Anybody?
The conspiracy is all coming together. We've fallen apart. I want to talk more. I'm so excited you went to something, and I'm bummed out that it was that, but I'm glad you had a good time.
I'm stoked that you went to Islands for the first time.
Hey, listen, I had a blue cheese and bacon burger, and it fucking rocked. It was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah, I'd go back to Islands.
Well,
very salty fries, though.
Those fries were pretty salty.
Maybe it's an island thing.
Maybe. But also, I like getting my sodium levels up. You know what I mean? I love a salty fry. I love salty chips. I've been getting whenever the grocery store has them, because they frequently seem to be out of stock. But the on the border chips, if you've had those,
yeah,
those are some salty boys, and
they're very salty.
Exactly what I want.
Are
you sure we shouldn't transition into just a food podcast?
Hey, if we can find a hook. It's fun to talk about.
It really is.
Yeah, I should mention the Doughboys less, so it doesn't seem like we're just ripping them off 100%. But we'll keep it in the docket.
Yeah. Something that you can keep in the docket is where you can find the podcasts.
Yeah.
Spotify.
Oh, is this the Happy Gilmore 2 trailer? It's Happy Gilmore, except it just sounds like old Adam Sandler and he's tired. I'm tired of playing golf.
Adam Sandler is so interesting at this stage in his life, because I feel like I have a greater appreciation for him, the person.
Yes.
But
I think we all do. Like,
the bit he did at the Oscars, while funny, it is like he's putting on such a voice, it feels like this isn't how you regularly talk.
I think that was all the setup just to finally say Chalamet.
Chalamet. And of course, I meant to say Chalamet, but I said Chalamet.
You had me second guessing. Maybe he said Chalamet. I don't know.
He didn't. He said it right. But anyway, Spotify, Amazon,
all companies we love,
Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, HowDoWeHuman.com. They're all great. Boycott them in every single way except for listening to How Do We Human. You can also check us out on some other fantastic platforms. I'm talking about Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Or just send us an email to howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
Google. Alphabet Incorporated.
Yeah, all sorts of wonderful places. By the way, if you watched on YouTube, you might have seen me let out a bit of spit that sprayed onto my phone when I did the Sandler impersonation. But now it's time, of course, for everybody's favorite part of this podcast, where we do 5 old trivia questions as we race to get to 100 points.
I thought you said 5 old trivia questions.
We do, yeah. We do 5 old, it's an American tale.
They're somewhere out there.
There's somewhere out there. Papa? Somewhere out there. 5-0. That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Get the AI trailer together.
Hey, my name's Fievel, and I'm going traveling to America from Russia. These are all my family members. This is a big fat cat. All right, here we go. As a reminder, Evan, you are up 2 points.
I'm
47
up to no good.
to 45 as we race to 100, and we're not even halfway there. Can one of us get this? Can one or both of us get to 50 points, the halfway mark? Let's find out with question number 1. Oof. At Cambridge, what is the name of the lawns that slope down to the river? The gardens, the commons, the rounds, or the backs?
I like the backs.
The backs.
This is one of those things that makes me go, why the fuck would anybody know this?
Sure.
That's an insane thing to know anything about. I have 2 answers that I feel really good about for some reason. I'm going with, okay, I got it.
I have my answer as well. As far as I'm concerned, it can be any of these, but I have my answer.
I'm saying the gardens.
I'm saying the commons.
That was my other answer. They do like to talk down to the commons.
It was the backs.
Oh my God. Who called her 2001 album Little Sparrow? Shania Twain, Elaine Page, Dolly Parton, or Kylie Minogue?
This feels like something that you're going to know. Do you feel confident?
I could say that. I have no fucking clue.
I also have no clue. I'm between 2, and I'm going to lock in my answer.
Yeah. I got an answer.
I'm going with Shania Twain.
I'm going with Dolly Parton.
Okay, the other one I was between was Kylie Minogue. So let's see what we got. It was Dolly Parton.
Hey.
Good job. I ruled her out very early. Which of these planets has no known moons?
No.
Mars, Jupiter, Venus, or Saturn?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let me think about this.
I have my answer. I don't know it either, but I have my answer.
I'm locked into something. It feels wrong, though. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm saying Venus.
I'm saying Mars.
Let's go.
It was Venus. Good job, Evan.
Because I download those sky watching apps, and you can see Venus from Earth. And I've never seen any moons. So I took a shot. The eruption of which volcano in 1815 was the most powerful in recorded history? Vesuvius, Nova Rupta, Tambora, or Pele? I'm going to assume it's just pronounced Pele, but there's an extra E there, and it confuses me. Listen, I've only heard of one of these.
Yeah, same. I do know that this was an extremely powerful volcano eruption. Do I think that it's the most powerful in recorded history? And even more than that, do I believe it happened in 1815?
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know. But
I love the name Nova Rupta.
I know, I do too. I'm a big fan.
1815. Yeah, no, that feels too late. You gave me a clue. I'm just going to say Nova Rupta because I like it. Let's go.
I'm going to stick with Vesuvius, but I think I do.
It feels like that was longer ago than that.
It definitely feels like it's longer ago than 1815, but did it erupt again? I don't know.
Ooh, good point. We don't know.
It was Tambora.
Boring.
Evan, I don't want to put the pressure on you, but if you get this one correct, you'll make it to the halfway point. In which Charles Dickens novel do we meet a headmaster called Wackford Squeers? Holy shit, that rules. Is it Hard Times, Bleak House, Nicholas Nickleby or David Copperfield?
Unfortunately, I hate when this happens. I love Charles Dickens. I've read several of his books, and I've not read a single one of these four.
Okay.
I have no idea. But I think I know the general plot to one of them, and I might be wrong, but it would fit in there. So I've got mine. I have a mildly uneducated guess.
Okay. I'm between two, and it's really just a true coin flip. Because I also feel like I maybe know what one of the plots is, but I could be confusing it with another book that's not even one of these options, and I just truly don't know if I'm mixing it up.
Holes.
Yeah. Which is Nicholas Nickleby the one where they dig a bunch of holes in the ground? Or is that holes? I'm not sure. I have my answer. I'm prepared to go 0 for 5 and really let you run away.
That'd be nice.
My answer is Nicholas Nickleby.
My answer is Bleak House.
Interesting. It was Nicholas Nickleby. Oh. Let's go. 1 out of 5.
Well, you ended on a high note.
I did. That now puts the score, of course. You did increase your lead.
Thank you.
Because the score is now myself with 46 points, and Evan, you are now at 49. You are ahead by
so
3,
close.
But still not at the halfway point.
Nope. I'm so close to getting to the halfway point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we say this in concert?
Yes. Okay.
Bye. Perfect.
Our barbershop duo.